Which animatronics could return as flashbacks for the Spirit Halloween 2022 season? Here are my predictions. For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and it has come to that time of year again where haunters try to predict the Flashback Friday animatronics for Spirit Halloween. Obviously, 2020 made Spirit Halloween's Flashback Fridays a very big part of the season. Most notably in 2020, we saw the very heavily requested Uncle Charlie make a return for the 2020 lineup, and then last year for 2021, we saw Wacky Mole return, who was a super requested animatronic. Today, I make my predictions for what animatronics I want to see return for the Spirit Halloween 2022 season, because there are definitely some great options out there, and I'm hoping that at least one of these does actually return for Spirit Halloween 2022 season, and there are some amazing animatronics that we could see return in stores for the ISCs, otherwise known as the themes for Spirit Halloween's 2022 season. So without further ado, here are my top 5 animatronics that I want to see as Flashback Fridays for Spirit Halloween 2022. Alrighty, so kicking it off with number 5 is actually one that also was number 5 on my predictions Flashback Friday list last year for the 2021 season. So he actually is coming in at the same spot, and it is Pumpkin Nestor. No, I feel like this is one that's pretty favorited and one that a lot of people believe is going to happen for the 2021 season. Pumpkin Nestor is an animatronic that came from 2013, and then he was also featured in the ISCs in 2014, and then he went from an online-only run from 2015 to 2016 until he was officially discontinued. Now, I'm putting Pumpkin Nestor in the same spot that I put him in last year, because I kind of feel exactly the same that I did about a year ago when I did my last year's list. And the reason I believe that he could return is because we saw Little Nestor, his son, or his believed son counterpart, return in late 2021 as an online-only Flashback Friday animatronic. So I could definitely see Pumpkin Nestor returning. Another reason why I think it's going to happen is because in the factory floor ISE, he actually had a portrait that claimed him as the employee of the month next to the Crypt Keeper. So I definitely think that may have been like kind of, not really a hint, but maybe just something that Spirit put in, and then he is going to return next year, like the year after they put him into the ISE, as a portrait. A lot of people really love Pumpkin Nestor, and after we saw Little Nestor return, everyone thinks that he is going to be coming back for the 2022 season. I've always loved Pumpkin Nestor. I think he's a great animatronic. He's made by YJ, and they're not out of business, so he could return. His foam latex is really, really awesome. His phrases are great. His look, fantastic. Overall, I just really, really love him. His size also makes him really, really good because he's really big. He's life-sized. Obviously, he's much bigger than Little Nestor because Little Nestor is supposed to be his son counterpart. I would love to see Pumpkin Nestor come back in stores in the ISCs for the 2022 season, and I think it's also very possible since Little Nestor came back and also since he was featured as the Employee of the Month in the Factory Floor ISE. Let's take a look at my next Flashback Friday animatronic. Alright, so believe it or not, this next animatronic also has the same spot that I had on my list last year in number 4, and it is Thrashing Clown. Now, I absolutely love Thrashing Clown. For those who don't know, the Clown Train has always been one of my favorite ISCs of all time. I love all the clown animatronics that were featured in it. Wacky Mole Clown is my favorite animatronic of all time, the original. Obviously, I love the brand new Flashback version, but I've always loved all of the clowns. But next to Wacky Mole, my favorite has to be Thrashing Clown. I would love to see Thrashing Clown make a return as a flashback for the 2022 season, and I feel like a lot of others would as well. He's just so awesome, and I mean, I love his motion, I love his look. I think his look is one of the best things about him. He's kind of similar to the Sitting Scare Clown that was also manufactured by Techie Design, who also made Thrashing Clown. But, I mean, Thrashing Clown is better in so many different ways. He's not just a jump scare prop, he thrashes from side to side. His audio is great, his look is amazing, and I would love to see him make a return. Again, he's manufactured by Techie Design, so he could make a return because they are not out of business, and they're far from out of business. They make a ton of animatronics each year for Spirit. But overall, I love Thrashing Clown so much, and he's definitely my second favorite from the Clown Train next to Wacky Mole. I feel like some people overlook him and some people like him as much as he should be. He's just an incredible animatronic in my opinion, one of the best clown animatronics we've ever seen from Spirit Halloween, and I would love to see him make a return in the ISCs, not just as an online only, but in the themes and in the ISCs for Spirit Halloween 2022. Like I said, I just love his look. I love his audio. His laughing is so creepy. And I also love that TNT box activation that he has. It's really unique that he doesn't just activate from a step pad. You can connect him to that TNT box, push down the lever, and he starts thrashing from side to side. I think that's an awesome design choice for him. It really makes him unique. And I think he's one of the best and most unique clown animatronics we've ever received from Spirit. He's one of the best from the clown train in 2013. And I would love to see him make a return for Spirit Halloween 2022. Let's take a look at my next Flashback Friday prediction. Alright, so number 3 is finally where my list this year gets different than my predictions list for last year. And number 3 is Grinning Gertrude. Now, Grinning Gertrude has always been one of my favorite animatronics of all time. This is a classic, incredible, just amazing animatronic that was manufactured by SVI Seasonal Visions back in 2009. She was featured in the Wicked Woods ISE and sold for $129.99, $130 United States dollars, an incredible price for this animatronic. I absolutely loved it. She stood at only 5 feet tall, so she's not that big, but she's just such an amazing animatronic in so many ways. I easily think she's one of the best witch animatronics that Spirit has ever made. I love the green look that she has. I love the broomstick. But then these simple things that I love about her, I love her sculpt. I think she easily has an incredible face sculpt for a witch. I think it's a classic witch look. It looks just as a witch looks like when you think of a witch character. The green skin looks really great on it, and I love the sculpt on it. I love this sculpt of the hand not holding the broom either. I love how it's kind of like looking towards you, the palm. I love the way that looks with the fingers kind of spread out. I think that looks incredible, and I love Grinning Gertrude so much. The bone necklace is also a really nice look to her with the little, she has a bone necklace, but then also has like a bone kind of thing going around her waist with a few like little bags in it. I love that too. I think that's just a really unique look on a witch. You can always just throw a black cloak on a character and say it's a witch, but you really have to add some design features to make it an actual really good animatronic. Grinning Gertrude is that in my opinion, with the bone necklace and the bone kind of thing around her waist. I love how that looks as a bone belt, I guess you can call it, with the little bags and bones. That's an awesome look to her because it's not something that you would think of when you think of a witch, but when you put it on one, it really does look great, and I feel like it works immensely good for Grinning Gertrude. Her audio is fantastic. I love how it sounds. It's really creepy and fits a witch really well. Her pointed hat is great, her long white hair, and overall, I also love her color scheme. The black outfit, white hair, and green skin looks really great for a witch. It's just classic colors. The audio is great. The face sculpt is superb. No face sculpt on any other witch, I feel like, compared to Grinning Gertrude, and it would just be fantastic to see her return. The only thing that I wish SVI would change if she did come back were her eyes. She has just the kind of LED eyes that just kind of stick out. It would be so much cooler if they changed the eyes and made them actually look like, I don't even really know what it's called, but like a glassy look where the LED was behind the plastic, so it actually looked like the eyes, like real eyes instead of just an LED poking out. That's the only thing I would change, or I wish SVI would change for Spirit if she did return. But either way, I feel like everything else should stay the same because she is just incredible in almost every single way other than those eyes. And I would love to see her return for the themes in Spirit Halloween 2022. And it'd probably be a definite pickup for me. Let's take a look at my next Spirit Halloween 2022 flashback prediction. Coming in at number 2 is really close to my number 1. I really want to see both of these back, and it kind of just came down to which one I wanted a little bit more to put at number 1. But number 2 is the Ripping Reaper of Souls from 2009. Again, this is just an incredible animatronic, just like Grinning Gertrude. Ripping Reaper of Souls is another one that I've always really enjoyed, and I think he is just another classic Spirit Halloween prop that a lot of people know and a lot of people really enjoy. His look is just incredible. He's basically just a generic Reaper. When you think of like the Grim Reaper, he's basically what you think of. He just has an all gray outfit. He's got kind of a rope tied around his waist. He's got his hands, and then when he activates, his hands spread apart and he opens up his jacket to reveal a bunch of faces like on his chest. I love his face sculpt as well. It's just his skull face looks really awesome, and it looks really great when paired with that mouth movement. The red LED eyes are an awesome mix to go with his face. His hood is really awesome, and I think the hood looks great when it's put over that. I love the coloring of his robe. If it was just a black color like you see on a lot of Grim Reapers, I don't think it would have worked as well. The gray color kind of keeps him a little bit light, and I feel like that looks awesome because it matches really well with his kind of color of the bones. Really, really love that. The rope around his waist is a really, really nice touch, and his motion is really what makes him so great. The activation and animation just looks incredible with him talking to you and then opening up the jacket to reveal the faces with the red LED on his chest as well. That looks really, really awesome. His audio is really, really cool. Again, just really, really creepy, and it works well with the kind of Reaper idea. What the things that he says works really well with the kind of Grim Reaper aesthetic that he has to him. It works well, which is when you think of a Grim Reaper, the things he says really, really match well. I love his look to him. His price was $199.99, $200 back in 2009, and he was manufactured by YJ Toys and Crafts, which again, they are not out of business, so he could very much make a return if YJ was requested to make one by Spirit. I would love to see the Ripping Reaper return for the 2022 season, and he would make an awesome, he would be a great place in the ISCs for 2022. He's always been a fan favorite animatronic, and he would sell incredibly well if he was to make a return. I would probably definitely be picking him up, if he didn't make a return, and I would love to see him back in the themes for 2022. Let's take a look at my number 1 prediction and my number 1 requested animatronic for a Flashback Friday in 2022. Alrighty, so I'm going to bet you already know what my number 1 is before I just showed it to you on the screen, and it has to be Barnyard Butcher. What can I even say about Barnyard Butcher? Everyone in the Haunter community believes that he's going to be returning for the 2022 season. I haven't seen one person who has said he's not going to return. Everyone is under the belief that he's returning, and I am 100% also under that same belief. Barnyard Butcher is one of the best animatronics in Spirit Halloween's history, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion as well. His look is one of the creepiest animatronics that we've seen all time, from all of Spirit Halloween's animatronics. He came out in 2014, was featured in the Last Chance Gas ISE, and then had an online-only run from 2015 to 2016, and then he was discontinued. This really is one of the creepiest animatronics, in my opinion, of all time. He's so awesome. His look is so realistic with the holding the head. YJ manufactured him, which is why he looks really, really good. YJ is really good at making realistic sculpts. His burlap sack head is just amazing, and I feel like with the mouth movement, it looks so realistic and so scary. The mouth movement looks just incredible with the burlap sack. The head that he's holding just is incredible. The knife looks really, really good. His outfit with the cover overalls that's kind of falling down on one side is also just really, really scary. And his whole burlap sack head is so creepy looking and so realistic. It really looks like real burlap, and it actually might be made out of real burlap. I don't know. I don't have it in my own collection. I wish I did. But he's just such an incredible animatronic. He's got blood drenched all over his cover overalls. The head is bloody. The head has a moving mouth as well that just makes groaning sounds, and it lights up as well. He moves side to side. He has mouth movement like I mentioned, and he has red LED eyes. I don't even really know what to say about him, because at this point, everyone knows in the community that Barnyard Butcher is just an incredible, incredible animatronic. He stood at 6 feet tall, like I already mentioned. He was manufactured by YJ, and he sold for $199.99, $298 back in 2014, 2015, and 2016. Like I said, basically everyone believes that he's going to return, and I honestly very much believe that he is. I feel like with Barnyard Butcher, we're in the same position we were in last year, 1 year ago now, about Wacky Mole Clown. Everyone kind of knew with, I'm gonna do that when I say new, because we didn't know for sure, but we basically knew that Wacky Mole Clown was going to be returning because of how many people wanted him. I feel like we're in that same position this year with Barnyard Butcher, where everyone kind of knows that he's going to be returning for 2022. The last thing I'll mention with Barnyard Butcher is that in 2014, 2015, and 2016, obviously, all those years he was sold, he was manufactured by New Ray Sun. Now, since then, New Ray Sun has actually gone out of business. Now, that was bad news for his return, because it meant that he couldn't return since the company that manufactured him went out of business. However, as of 2021, last year, when the Two Scoops animatronic came out, it was actually, people found out that Two Scoops was manufactured by a new company known as FU. It has an actual name, but honestly, I only know it as FU because I don't really know how to pronounce it, what the name is. But basically, what we found out then was this company known as FU actually bought New Ray Sun. So technically, FU is actually New Ray Sun, because they bought them and they're under a new name. Now, this is fantastic news, and we only found this out after 2021 when Two Scoops came out, because it means that now New Ray Sun is kind of back in business because they were purchased by FU. Barnyard Butcher can be returned once again because New Ray Sun is kind of back in business. This is awesome information because it makes it possible for Barnyard Butcher to return, and that's another reason why a lot of people think he's going to be coming back next year, since the company that manufactured him originally was purchased and can now be brought back once again for the 2022 season. I really hope Barnyard Butcher comes back. He would be an 100% purchase for me if he does make a return. Without a doubt, I'd be buying Barnyard Butcher. There would be no shadow of a doubt. I really want this guy, and I've always looked to buy the original one, and I've never been able to get one. So if he does end up returning for the 2022 season, 100% I will be buying him, and you'll definitely be seeing an unboxing of the channel in July once he does end up coming out, if he does. But I so badly want to see Barnyard Butcher come back. Incredible animatronic, one of my favorites from all time in Spirit Halloween's history, and I very much hope to see him once again in the themes for Spirit Halloween 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up my predictions for the Spirit Halloween 2022 Flashback Fridays. I think there are some great opportunities for animatronics to return for the 2022 season, and I feel like my list is pretty solid. And again, this is my opinions. I wish all these guys that I just mentioned could return, but if I had to pick a few of them, I would probably pick my top 3. Grinning, Gertrude, Ripping Reaper, and Barnyard Butcher. Those are the ones I like the most, but honestly, I would love to see all of them return because these are my opinions, and I feel like these are some awesome animatronics and some pretty solid ones that Spirit should definitely return for 2022. Let me know in the comments which animatronics you want to see return as a flashback for the Spirit Halloween 2022 season. And I guess, remember as always, for everything scary, I'm GMHaunts. I'll see you guys later for more Spirit Halloween 2022 videos. Goodbye.